while we're doing that, I understand that you've been on holiday.
I have actually, Neil. I was in the great country of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I go to Asia,
Yeah.
particularly when Germany gets very, very cold, is because I want some sun.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get very much sun here in the northern part of Germany
No, that's
in
true.
the winter months.
Mm-hmm.
So I trooped off to Vietnam, took a flight via Doha, had a fantastic time there, so landed in Ho Chi Minh City, which used to be called Saigon.
Ah, okay.
Toured round Saigon, stood in the main square, and within a few moments what you have happen to you is a Vietnamese young student will come up and say, I want to try out my English, presuming of course that you are English, and most of the foreigners there don't speak English as a first language, but perhaps as a second or third. So I got chatting to this man called Bang.
Bang.
Bang is now my good friend.
Yes.
And he's a law student at the university there. And he showed me around. He showed me the kinds of things that you get to eat in Vietnam,
Right.
but also the kinds of things you get to drink. And it was either Saigon beer, which is a nice beer, very, very similar to Beck's, I would say.
Right.
And on top of that, you get coffee.
Yeah.
And that's what the French left behind. And the coffee is so amazing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. Whether it's consumed on the train, and you know how train coffee is, sometimes it's just like hot water
Yeah.
you can throw away. But this stuff was very, very nice. Or you go to the coffee houses.
Mm.
And what some of the coffee houses do, they do coffee and then they bring tea as well at the same time. So you'd have your coffee, which is quite a strong black coffee or iced coffee, or they do coffees in all sorts of varieties. And then after you've had your coffee, you then are given tea, which tends to be cold, at least in the places that I went to in Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back next year. It was so good. I'm going to go and see my friend Bang again.
Yeah.
And he was just a nice man. Has a girlfriend, and they do stuff together. And just to find out how Vietnam is was brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah. Wonderful.
There wasn't too much curry there, though. In Vietnam, it was very mild in terms of what they ate.
Yeah.
A lot of salads. So they have a lot of salad, a lot of stews.
Right.
They will have a lot of hot pots, and you can see the influences from all different Asian countries that have come to Vietnam. Usually when you go to Asia, sometimes with the stomach it's difficult to adjust, but there, absolutely no problem.
No problem.
The other thing that interested me about Vietnam, to come back to Vietnam,
Yes.
and it was the same when I was in Burma the year before, so in Myanmar, English football is on constantly on the television.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. English football.
English football, English Premier League football.
So you've got the Manchester United, you've got Chelsea.
Now, I come from West Brom
Yeah.
originally. That's where I was born. And not many people
Yeah.
outside of the UK know West Brom other than for its football team,
That's
which
right.
is in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And in Vietnam, I could actually say I'm from West Brom and I was born in West Brom, and people knew exactly where that was and knew everything about the football team. They knew more than I did.
Well, some people in the UK don't know where that is.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how far this reach of, the Bundesliga you think has got this great international renowned nature, but the Premier League's very similar, and it's all over the place. And in places in Vietnam, we stopped off of it at a service station in the middle of nowhere between, it was between the Cambodian border and Saigon. I was on a tour of the Mekong River, which is one of the longest rivers in Asia.
Right.
In fact, one of the longest rivers in the world. And I'd finished the tour, gone on the bus to come back to Saigon, and halfway back, lo and behold, we stopped off at a service station, and everyone was sitting there watching Premier League football.
Hard to
And it was
believe.
full. And people were,
Seriously?
people were as enthusiastic as they would be in a pub in Oldham or Blackpool or Doncaster or wherever they're watching the football.
Blooming heck.
I know.
Impressive.
It's very
Impressive. Do they have a good football team over there then?
I think the answer to that is no.
That's the reason why they watch.
That's probably the reason. They're very into European football, specifically the Premier League.
Yeah.
There are certain things that Britain exports very well, other than the English language, and I think football is probably one of them. As I said, I've been in those two Asian countries, whereas Myanmar has got this influence of the British because they have been there for so long. So that makes logical sense that there is more of an interest in British stuff.
Right.
Whereas in Vietnam, being a French colony and not having any sort of history that's traced back to the British Empire, you would think that, you know, they will be more into French football, let's say, but the opposite's actually the case. It's all English football.
All English football.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's quite interesting to say there's such an English influence over there.
Yeah.
And as an English influence, you tend to find that English is then spoken because all of the programs are then shown in English. How easy was it to speak English over there?
That is a great question. And let me think. It's with older people that there is hardly any English there. There is more of an allegiance, let's say, to the Anglo, more specifically the American world in the south. You can feel this in Saigon.
Right.
Than there is in the north in Hanoi.
Mm-hmm.
For young people, however, I think English, because they're taught it at school, because many of them have to have it at university, it's really important for them to find foreign people with whom and to whom they can have a good chat. So in that respect, I think it's easier to speak to younger people in the south of Vietnam in English than it is generally speaking in the north.
Right.
But they can't do enough to help you.
Yeah.
They are. Many people say they go to Vietnam and they feel cheated. There is this great marketplace of stuff. When you go into a market, imagine your shop, but filled with 100 times more stuff, and you walk by and they're trying to sell you things.
Yeah.
And you really have to barter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to barter, and sometimes you don't know whether, if you were a Vietnamese person, which Bang said to me.
Yeah.
I got a jacket actually from Vietnam, and they wanted to charge me 1 million dong for it. Now, that sounds a lot of money. It actually isn't, because the exchange rate is something like 1 to 1 euros 20,000 of these dong, or 200,000. I can't remember what it was now. And he said, no, that's too expensive. I could get it for half the price. Now, you don't know whether that's them just saying, I can get it for half the price, and they might be able to, or then again, they might not be able to. But nice people, great food, easy to get around, not difficult. And the one thing that perhaps shocks you more than anything is the motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are all on motorbikes, and these electric bikes. And when the traffic light turns red, and then they start to stack, within a minute you've got at least 500 motorbikes.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. And when that turns green, there's this wave, this sea of motorbikes that come through. I took films of it. It's unimaginable, because first of all you got the noise, then you got this sight of all of these motorbikes just going through.
Cool.
And to see that was quite the sight.
Yeah.
I went on a motorbike. I did a 60-kilometre taxi ride on a motorbike. Now, the one thing that you need to know about this motorbike is there weren't any supporting bars for me to put my legs on.
Right.
So my legs were dangling, and I had a 20-kilo backpack, a Vietnamese hat that I bought, and another backpack for my front. And we were on this bicycle, and I thought this is going to be a journey of hopefully 10 minutes. It turned into be a journey of 40, and my legs were killing by the end of it.
If they're just hanging there.
Yeah,
Plus with
they were just
everything
hanging,
else,
and I had to sort of lift them up like this and hold them out like this. It was almost like a trapeze artist doing all sorts of actions. Yeah, so that was Vietnam.
Right.
But now I'm back